the world is united in support of our determination to prevent Iran from developing a nuclear weapon.
Achieving a nuclear agreement with Iran is a top priority for U.S. foreign policy, but a comprehensive agreement remains elusive. In the wake of yet another extension to the deadline for negotiations, many people are wondering if a deal is even possible. Our question was, what if we managed to conclude a deal with Iran? What would that mean for Iran, for the region, for U.S. policy? In other words, what happens in the days after a deal? RAND initiated a series of papers and convened a conference of prominent experts to explore the consequences of a nuclear agreement with Iran.
How would such an accord change Iran's policies in the region and toward the United States? President Hassan Rouhani is eager to improve the economy and make Iran less isolated. He's even indicated a desire to work with the US in Iraq and elsewhere. But Rouhani must work within the framework of Iran's revolutionary principles, which are the prerogative of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Khamenei believes that it is Washington's animosity towards Iran that fuels the US-Iran rivalry, and has made clear that Iran will continue its opposition towards Israel, regardless of any nuclear agreement. This gives Rouhani limited room to maneuver, even after a deal. He may be able to pursue better relations with Saudi Arabia and Turkey, and while the relationship between the US and Iran might become less confrontational, the resumption of full diplomatic ties does not appear realistic in the near future.
How would Iran's neighbors respond to a deal? Their concerns about Iran extend far beyond the nuclear issue. They might not welcome a deal, but our assessment is that they are more likely to adapt to one than attempt to derail it.
Israel would expect Iran to violate the terms of any agreement and do their best to expose potential Iranian cheating. But a deal widely accepted by the international community would make an Israeli military strike unlikely, especially because the Israelis are already divided on the utility of military action.
A deal further empowering Iran and disrupting the regional balance of power would be of great concern to Saudi Arabia. It could lead the Saudis to increase competition with Iran in Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and the Arab Gulf. But a deal would probably reduce the risk of the Saudis feeling the need to develop their own nuclear program.
A nuclear deal could provide an opening for the United States to rethink its policies in the region. Economic sanctions would provide both the carrot and the stick. Rewards if Iran complies, and costs if Iran violates the agreement. In the aftermath of a deal, the U.S. will have to reassure anxious allies in the region, but avoid undercutting Iran's support for the agreement. Given uncertainties about Iran's policies and congressional skepticism, caution and hedging may seem attractive, but the opportunity of reversing Iran's march towards nuclear weapons is too important and the stakes are too high. The U.S. policies of broader engagement with Iran deserve much more serious consideration than have been apparent to date.
Our research on the days after a deal anticipates a region where Iran's nuclear threat is diminished, but its regional ambitions and other foreign policies of concern to the United States and its partners are not going to disappear. But a deal would reduce a serious point of tension in Iranian-U.S. relations and open the door to potential cooperation on other regional hotspots. It's time to begin thinking about new opportunities for U.S. regional policy following a potential nuclear deal with Iran.